So my review was on the Bergara B14 HMR Wilderness rifle, chambered in 6.5 millimeter Creedmoor. Go through this rifle so you can kind of see some of the specs, and I'll probably post a note card or a picture of the spec sheet as well. It retails MSRP at $11.49 as of the time of this video. It weighs 9.5 pounds. It has sub-minute of angle accuracy guaranteed, and shooting it, I saw the results of that as well. It's a sniper gray Cerakote to include the barrel, Cerakoted sniper gray. It's pretty spiffy. The bolt has a 90-degree bolt throw. It's a 2-lug bolt. To remove the bolt, I have to lower my buttstock, which the comb height is adjustable with this knob. And it is a fluted bolt. It also has the Remington 700 style 2-position thumb safety located by your firing side thumb. The rifle has a integrated mini chassis built into the stock. We have the Bergara Performance trigger, which is tunable from 2.8 to 4.4 pounds. I think they ship it around 3.5 pounds, maybe slightly over. I don't have a trigger gauge or a scale to weigh it, but it feels like about a 3.5 pound trigger. The barrel comes threaded 5/8 by 24 with the Omni direction brake or Omni muzzle brake. I did most of my testing with this rifle with my Hyperion CGS suppressor, which shot on this gun really well. So the barrel is threaded, and you can remove the brake if you choose to shoot a different muzzle device. Like I said, I use the CGS Hyperion suppressor. It also comes with a polymer AICS style 5-round magazine with the Bergara logo on it. For the review of this rifle, I shot the Leupold Mark 6 3-18 power with a Tremor 3 reticle. I also mounted my Wiebad cheek rest pad on the adjustable comb height buttstock. Now, Bergara's mini chassis stock also has some textured surfaces both on the firing side and non-firing side of the forend, and where your hand grips into the stock for a little added texture and give you a better grip. The bolt knob, I believe, is replaceable. I didn't try unscrewing it, but I think in the manual it said you could swap out the bolt knobs there if that's not something you're interested. But I love this gun. It's a really good gun. I'm gonna probably end up buying it. This was not a paid review. They didn't give me this rifle for free. I'm gonna have to buy it if I want.
Okay, so here I'm just shooting some groups on paper targets at 100 yards, trying a few different rounds, seeing how they group, trying to get my head in the game here for when I do this review and start shooting longer ranges on steel.
Now I'm going to talk about some of the things that I really like about this rifle. Up front, this thing's a tack driver. For its price, MSRP around $1,000, slightly more, depending on where you go. It's a tack driver, and there's no modifications necessary. The trigger works really well on it. The bolt action is nice and smooth. When I cycle this bolt, I never had any binding. It's nice and smooth, and not a lot of slop, not a lot of play. I mean, there's a little bit, but not much. Another thing I liked about this rifle is the adjustable comb height, and you can straight up remove the cheek rest if you want to modify it, paint it, tape it, whatever you're going to do, or put a pad like so. You got the bolt removal button on the left side of the rifle as you fire it, and you have an oversized magazine release in front of the trigger guard. Another thing I like about this rifle is the quick release female end receivers on both sides of the rifle, as well as on the buttstock on both sides. It has an adjustable length of pull with these spacers. There's some screws, 2 screws in the buttstock that you remove, and you can add or remove spacers. And out of the factory with all the spacers, it was just about the right length of pull for me. I could have probably went with 1 more spacer just because I have a longer length of pull requirement. And but this one worked fine. I had no issue shooting the gun. I shot some long range the other day with it, and it worked really well. You also have sling swivels in the rear and in the front. As you can see, I have the Harris bipod mounted to the front sling swivel. This Leupold scope, I had to add Bergara's scope mount to it. This is a 20 minute of angle elevation scope mount that they sent me to attach to the rifle. The rifle didn't come with it, so just so you know. There is also a fire indicator. So when you fire this gun, when it's ready to fire, there's a little red indicator in the back there. I don't know if you can see it. When you fire it, the firing pin drops down and it goes out of sight. So now you know it's been fired and it's not ready to fire. Pretty cool little feature if you can see it if you're shooting in the daylight. So now I'm going to talk about some of the things I didn't like, and there wasn't that many, there was a couple. All right, first of all, it has that 90-degree bolt throw, which is a pretty significant bolt throw. Depending on where you set your thumb in the bolt sequence, if you put your bolt, like I do, if you put your thumb above the bolt and you rack it up, it traps your thumb because the bolt throw is so high. I don't like that, so I had to modify the way I manipulate the bolt and keep my thumb out of the way, cycle the bolt, and then back. It's not a big deal. I'm just used to having my thumb above the bolt. I pinched it a couple times, and that kind of learned me real good to remove it. So no big deal. The other thing I didn't care for, and it's not that big of a deal, was the cheek piece that's adjustable. The cheek comb, or the comb height piece, is adjustable. To remove this bolt, if I needed to take my bolt out, I have to remove the cheek weld portion before I can take the bolt out, which is, I mean, it's nothing more than just undoing this nut, pulling it out, and then the bolt comes out. But when you're breaking the barrel in, which I did the recommended barrel break-in for this rifle. For the first 10 rounds, you clean the bolt, or I'm sorry, you clean the barrel after every round, and then after that, it's every 10 rounds until you hit 50. So having to remove this and then set it back to the right height, which for me is about right around my finger thickness. That's where I like it. You know, your consistency is important, maintaining that to get a good, accurate feedback from your target or whatever you're shooting. When you start removing this and then putting it back and then guessing, and you're kind of in a rush because you're cleaning the barrel and everything, gets to be a little bit of a process. So I guess you could probably modify this and remove some material off the front of this with a Dremel or whatever, but then, you know, you got to deal with that. But other than that, this is a pretty good shooting gun, and I would definitely buy one of these, and I probably will end up buying this rifle from Bergara. All right, so the ammunition we used for this review, I've shot about 4 or 5 different rounds. I bought some Freedom Munitions 140 grain match ammo. This stuff was a little less expensive than the rest, but you get what you pay for, so the groups were a little more spread out. This round from Copper Creek is a Barnes match burner round, 145 grain, and this thing shot really well, especially at long range. I like that ammo a lot. The Hornady match, ELD match, 147 grain. This is what I usually use when I shoot matches, and this is a badass round. And I shot a few of these. I didn't go crazy with this stuff because it's kind of expensive. And then last but not least, Hornady Black, which is a 140 grain round. This was surprisingly fun to shoot and shot some really tight groups. I like it a lot. 140 grain boat tail hollow point.
Starting out shooting these groups with the Barnes Match Burner 145 grain round by Copper Creek Ammunition.
Freedom Munitions, 140 grain match, hollow point boat tail. Spreading out a little also. Those two are touching.
Now I'm shooting the Hornady Black, a 140 grain round. I forgot to record while I was actually shooting groups that day with the previous ammo, so I just went ahead and used some footage from when I shot it suppressed on a different day. So here I am shooting the Hornady ELD Match 147 grain round. This is my favorite round for shooting in competition in matches. I only shot this round suppressed due to the cost of it. I didn't have a whole bunch of it, so I kept the shooting of that round to a minimum just to see how it shot in this gun and if the gun liked it or not, which it did.
What's up, you guys? Today I'm finishing up the review of the Bergara B14 HMR Wilderness. It's been a really nice shooting rifle for its price point, and I've got a lot of good things to share about it, and I've got a few things that I wasn't too crazy about, but overall it's a fine shooting gun. Stay tuned.
All right, so I'm shooting at a couple of, we call them sniper targets, but they're just a head and shoulders. I think they're about 18 inches in height. It shows the exposed head and shoulders. The distance was, I think, one at 550 and one at 720 or 30 meters, roughly. So here I'm utilizing this tank trap. I'm shooting another torso target at about 560 utilizing my bag for shooting off the end of the tank trap, and then I'm changing positions. That first one was kind of a bent forward standing, and then I'm dropping to the center of the tank trap and shooting a half kneeling position. Down on one knee, my elbow supported by my firing side knee. So I'm going to work some rapid follow-up shots and boat manipulation here. Nothing crazy. I'm leaning against the wire spool, standing, hunched forward, shooting, I think it was 10-inch gongs at about 360 meters or so, and just kind of working that bolt. Nice smooth action and getting those rapid shots off fast. It was kind of windy out there. I think the winds were, it was like quarter value winds, about 10 mile per hour. All right, so this is fun. Some positional change up on the position tree. Starting out standing. I believe the targets out here were about 450 to 5 and some change. The wind was honking pretty good, gusting to 20 miles per hour. Using my Warhorse shooting bag. Then I drop to a bent forward at the waist position. Don't forget to lock the knees, as you see me do here momentarily. Rapid change of position is important, being able to get in and out quickly. Had a miss there, need to make that up. So just immediately follow up, same sight pictures, same target. Impact. Changing to the other side of the post, a dual kneeling or double knee kneeling position, leaning most of my weight into the post. Good hit. Then I'm going to drop down on the left side a little lower and get a half crouching and half kneeling position. The knee is almost in contact with the ground on the sports side, kind of sitting on my haunches there on my foot. My firing side knee is supported, or my elbow is supported by my knee. All right, here I'm just working some rapid follow-up shots and boat manipulation off the center of the tank trap. Targets are about 550 meters, sniper targets or sniper torso targets.
guys, I hope you enjoyed this review and found it thought-provoking and informative. Make sure you like the video if you thought it was helpful, and please subscribe to my channel. Had a good time with this Bergara rifle, the B14 HMR Wilderness. It was a lot of fun to shoot. I had a great time doing this review, and I look forward to doing more. I got a little more acquainted with the Bergara rifles and their line of products. So have a good one and take care.